What's up, guys? um, how y'all feeling?
Marvelous.
Everybody's good.
Yeah.
All right, so this is basically the last talk that we'll have in Kaga, and it's crazy because it's already like what 2 days until we leave back to Tokyo. Um, let that sit in. Oh, sink in. Yeah, like 2 days. No, 3 days. 3 days.
3 days. Okay.
So tomorrow's. I said 3 days originally. All right, so um, today and tomorrow is kind of like the last day to finish up your work, and then the day after that is the day that we'll start setting things up. I'll be your curator, and basically this zone and outside is the space that we have to us to display the work, but that's all based off of what you guys have. So I haven't really seen much of you guys' work, and that's probably what will happen today. Is Brian's going to go around seeing what everyone has completed. That way we can have an understanding of the size, what's needed for hanging, and etc. But I think that's going to be like the topic of this talk is like, what have you guys created, and like what's the inspiration behind that, or um, I guess what led to whatever it is that you created, and just share a bit of that. Anyone want to go first?
You're so I've made an amalgamation of things. A lot of it is sort of like a continuation of the work I did when I first got here 5 years ago. I think I was telling a story to maybe it was you last night. Where when I first got or around the time before I first got to Kaga, I had just quit my job in a startup. I realized the startup ended up being a front for folks to money launder. It was crazy. Yeah. Long story short, I remember leaving the office and then seeing the blue jackets and the yellow letters pull up, and it was two different letter combinations: FBI, SEC. I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. All right. Anyway, I was very like dejected because as a designer, I wanted to build products and like services and stuff for people to use, not by talent not actually being used at all, or being used in a way that causes harm. So I was very disillusioned with my practice. I didn't know if I wanted to do it anymore. And I found an Instagram ad. Instagram ads work, I guess. And I was broke at the time, so I asked my friends to help crowdfund for me to be here. And when I got here, it totally like rekindled a fire for me to produce my own work in a much more like selfish manner. And since then, my output has been pretty much like at its highest, like, and it's gotten even like more levels now. It led me into like the career that I'm building for myself now with like in Web3 NFT space. It's enabled me to like help like create sponsorship opportunities for other artists, not just for here, but like in general. And so for me, my inspiration for doing the work that I've done, which was kind of both like a etching of a fashion label related to travel, called 747 Airlines. It's a parody of Boeing. And then also like I think like that is probably like the spiritual successor of the work I did when I first got here, which was called Domination Projects. At that time, it was very like politically charged, and it had to do a lot with kind of like the I guess disillusionment, not just of the work that I was doing or that I was a part of, but also like what was happening in America, and seeing some of those parallels here. And then this was all pre-COVID, so it was very interesting how like there's already a culture around masks and things of that nature that I ended up taking with me. And then once COVID happened, it was almost as if like I was already used to it. So it was a super interesting thing. And then the other piece of this, because I always want to like use this as a way to get back into my traditional art. I had done some traditional paintings and spray paint and stuff like that my first time. This time I'm moving back into charcoal. So I have two pieces that kind of act as light boxes in these frames. It's called A Woman and Tea. So it's like a diptych, and then it incorporates my girlfriend Bria's nail art, because in one it depicts a woman holding tea, and so part of the nails that show when she's holding the cup are going to be a part of that composition, and another one she's sort of like kind of like using it as a veil for her face, and then you'll see the other nails too. Yeah, so those are pieces, kind of a combination of continuing the work that I've already done, and then making a promise to myself to, still stoke that fire. So, yeah.
Side note, don't need to record that. What was the reason?
Domination Projects. That was the first one. Yeah, that was my first. That was my first thing I did, and then 747 Air is what I'm doing now. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Liberator?
Yes.
They do like this. They have like a similar, like it's about
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's travel is such a cool like I don't know, like thing to build around. It's so vast, and also there's so many different pockets, and then everyone does it, whether it's like simply going from your room to another room, or space to space, place to place, or country to country, right? Like there's a very innocuous thing that we all sort of like share about it. So being able to kind of pull from that is really fun for me. Where, yeah, I'm excited for you to see what I've been working on.
Good morning. So, good afternoon. So my experience this trip is I feel a little bit different than everyone else's, sort of because of the nature of the media that I work in, but also of the source of my inspiration. So coming here, I think the first day I told myself I wanted to establish the NARC company. What that means is it's really, I don't even know. But it sort of has a design language and a color scheme that I came up with late last year. And so I decided I'd be guided by this color and by anything else, any experience that I could find. And throughout the last, over a week now, I've been able to go all over, not just Kaga, but Kanazawa as well, and Tokyo by the seat of my own pants, and sort of unknowingly manifest all of my dreams as a kid coming to Tokyo. Like coming here, I'm like, oh man, I want to get a G-Shock. I got 4 G-Shocks. And the other was I want to find gang members and have them tattoo me. And that happened. What? Yeah. So my work here too, coming here, I thought I would do something more traditional or sort of tap back into roots that I had years ago in art. But the experience has kind of led me in the opposite direction to try something new that I've never done in the digital realm. So tonight, a 3D scanner will be coming to me, and I'll be documenting all of the items that pertain to the different experiences that I've had as artifacts, and I'll be printing them tomorrow, God willing. And I'm thinking about doing like one piece that I'll print out like as a digital art piece to kind of tie it all together and bring myself back into it. And I also plan on working with Ameer to bring some of the NARC company iconography to life in some of the clothing that I've obtained for myself. Just one of one stuff, really just for me. But we got some Muji tees, so we'll play around. Um, but yeah, I'm still assembling. I'm still figuring it out. There's still stuff coming in, and there's still room for change and experimentation. I don't necessarily know how much space I will take up or can take up. And I think I was talking with Brian about a spatial gallery. Are we doing that? Okay, so I'll be assembling my STLs in there as well for like a secondary exhibition. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I have 3 pieces I've been working on. They vary in size, which was also nice to experiment with. Because I've been telling everyone like I only paint really small, so it's been nice to try and work on a larger scale. But I have a painting of an object, of like a scene, and then I'm doing a self-portrait as the largest one, and they all have pieces of Japan and like Japanese culture in them. I think the first one was like tied to me back home because I have one of the Dharma dolls, like the little ones where you like make a wish, and so I painted that. It like brings me back home in a way, and like part of like that is related to my trip here, so I was excited to like paint it. The next one's like how I feel being here in some of the spaces I've showed a lot of people. It's the onsen one with the beach ball floaty, so there's that. And then the last one I wanted to incorporate like just things that I've learned from everyone here, experiences I've had, as well as like some of the culture that I really like. And I'm excited to have all of them done. I think my only fear is like I've used oil for everything. I don't know if it's gonna dry. So we'll see how they make it back home, if they can make it back home. And if they don't, I hope no one touches them because your hands will be covered in oil paint. Yeah, that's it.
Hi. I'm kind of nervous. Just like, I think nervous to express what I've been working on, and then kind of nervous for the timeline going forward. I think my process this time has been a little opposite of what I usually do. Like with photography, like I'll kind of take the pictures, see what's happening, and then develop them and then frame them. What's the best frame based on the photo that I've created. But going to the art store this time, I found 3 frames that I was really drawn to. One's kind of like this panoramic blue, like wooden, that's really beautiful. A kind of medium-sized black one, and then a bigger, like blue one. So I've kind of let that draw where I'm taking my inspiration. And so I mapped out the 3 of them like on my iPad, and I was like, okay, for this one, I'm thinking like a landscape for the panoramic one. For the next one, I was like, I want a black and white image with shadows in it. And then for the third one, I kind of left it open and just see what was coming to me. And with the 3, I really want like, one's like represents Japan, one's like for Japan and the people here. Like the next one's kind of like for me. And then I want the third one to like be for us, that we all like kind of see each other in it and feel a part of it. So that one I'm thinking of doing like portraits of everyone. And I've kind of started like while people are working, and I might keep going with that. But even for the shadows one, when we went to the stone quarry, it was kind of like, oh, this is perfect. Like somehow this was in my head before I even saw it. But now that I'm seeing it, I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted to take a picture of. And this is how like I kind of want it to print out. So my next step is getting these prints and then putting them in the frames. And I'm excited for that.
I don't really know how to put into words what I'm trying to say, but I'm gonna try anyway. For me, I came here thinking that I'd find inspiration more through like different objects and stuff in Japan. I feel like, oh God. Okay. I feel like I have to turn around, y'all. I'm sorry. I feel like, oh my gosh. Okay. I feel like a lot of my inspiration has been coming from the water, the onsen itself. Like when I get up in the morning, I'll be fine. And then I'll go to the onsen and it'll be refreshing. And then like a few minutes later when I leave, I always get really emotional. And it makes me cry, but not like, I'm not sad, I'm not upset or anything, but it's like the waters are really healing and they've been bringing up like old emotions and old traumas that I still need to work through. And it's kind of like, it feels like it's been speeding up that process and it's been allowing my creativity to flow more fluidly. Get it, water? And yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Word. Wait, you're back. Okay.
When's the last time you really had like a place of rest and recovery?
Give her the mic.
Here,
Give her the mic.
God, y'all. All right, y'all trying to make me cry. I had a really, really tough childhood. I was molested from like 3 to like 16. And like laying down to sleep, being somewhere to rest and recharge, it didn't really do anything for me because like it's still on the inside. And it's up here as well. But like here, okay, like for example, usually every time I sleep, I have a dream. Most of them are like really vivid, really detailed, very real feeling nightmares. Since I've gotten here, I've not had any dreams, which is weird. And it bothers me a little bit because I like to dream. But the trade-off for that has been feeling more healed. So like, I'm not even looking at it as getting rest or anything. Because, I can get plenty of sleep at home. It's just been more about healing for me. Like the sleeping doesn't really do it. It's just something about the water here. It's just been doing it for me,
Thanks for
Oh, you stop. You're going to make me cry too. I'm morning. Sleeping.
Word. I think right now the main thing that I'm kind of creating right now is the mural. It's been a process. It's been a fun process. Like normally my practice whenever I do a mural, I am probably the most prepared, where I already have the design done. I already know my paints. I already know exactly how the wall feels, what it's going to look like, what I'm going to do. Already got the lift secured, ladder ready, all this stuff. It's just kind of like the nature of like my job as a muralist, is to be prepared, because going into any type of mural, any muralist will tell you like there's always going to be at least like 1 or 2 things that don't work out, that you can't really plan for. So with this one, this has probably been one of the first times I have just gone for it without knowing exactly where I'm going, and just kind of like letting myself, experiment and play around with that, which is frustrating mentally, because it's not what I normally do, and it goes against the grain of everything that I try to do. And so there's like about 1,000 alarm bells ringing on the inside. But it's something that I know that I want to do, because it's still revealing me. It's still revealing to me who I am. And so I'm very happy with it, and I'm ready to get going on that. And then also I've been working on like a series of small drawings, kind of themed around all the convenience stores that we have been to. And so I've just called it like staying convenient. And just like, little drawings of like, of like either items that I've picked up in there or like just, you know, different characters kind of like moving around those spaces or doing things in there are little sayings that I've like, I don't know, thought while I've been inside of the convenience stores, because God bless to the convenience stores. I think the church can say amen to that, right? Amen.
Yeah, I think I have two main pieces right now. Actually, in terms of like the process itself, I just want to say that it's just been so fun being in a space where I can just hyper focus and not feel out of place, and it's just fun like playing off on like people's energies and like, you know, like there's been multiple times where I'm like getting tired in the studio, and then like somebody new comes in, and then I just start talking about something, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm ready to keep going as long as like, you know, it's here. And you know, I don't think I've ever been in a space like that before, so it's just been really, really fun, and I'm getting so much out of that, or just hearing different people, you know, give their process, or like seeing their process and stuff like that. As for the pieces I'm working on, the first is a series of people holding like the traditional umbrellas and looking out into like the Tokyo cityscape and like this. And I think for me, I just wanted to capture a little bit about how when we saw the umbrellas and we talked to like the artists and stuff like that here, it was just and you know, reading about the process of how they're made. And just like, you know, it's like this very old traditional art, or even like lacquerware workshop, but it's just like this idea that so much of what I think is we find interesting about Japan is a juxtaposition between like this super modern kind of world and this, you know, like maintenance of traditions from so many years past, and like these design and artistic things that just flow through. So I want to capture a little bit of that. And a couple of people were like, "Oh, I really like the color scheme, like the teal and stuff like that." And I just want to say, like, I literally just got it from like some of Mary's pictures, and I think that's just like the beauty of collaborating, because like Marie, sorry, and you know, that it is, because I was literally thinking about my palette, and I think Sam mentioned when I started like my big piece, he's like, "Oh, that's totally your palette," and you were like just from like seeing my old pictures, yeah, you're like, "Oh, that's totally what you use," and I was like, "Oh yeah, it is," and I was like happy with that, but I'm like, "Oh, now I kind of want to try a new palette, or just like see what else I could go." And as soon as I saw those pictures from like your trip to Morocco, I was like, "Oh, that's it!" Like, so now I'm just running with that. Like, even back home, I think I'm gonna do a lot of pieces with that palette. I just really like using the same colors and just pushing that. And then the second piece I'm working on is the two a gradient, like kind of like longer scroll pieces, and at the bottom of it, you know, we have scenes of people on the train, and then I have like some candidates I took of people here or just on the street, and I just kind of like made like additions to that, and it just kind of like this build up from like the train to like the city itself, and then you know, like mountains and stuff like that, and then at the top I got like Buddhas from like the visit to the shrines. If you guys haven't been to the shrine yet, highly recommend. It's I think it was actually my favorite thing within Kaga, and for me it was just kind of thinking about how space really affects us, and like the idea that like public, you know, this conversations that I think I've had with like most of you at this point, which is the idea of like how easy it is to get around here, or like the convenience of being able to, you know, go to Tokyo, or like the beach or wherever, or just like all these things. And maybe it's just like the policy person inside of me, but I just always think about like the importance of like public transportation, or like having like these social systems where we allow this flow of people, and how this kind of connects to like something higher, or like this buildup of like things that are just, you know, what's in front of us, like, you know, like what's, you know, like the importance of just like doing the basic work. Like, you know, like when I think about the United States not having a good public transportation system, or, you know, just being so car centric, or just I just literally think it's disorganized. You know, I just think it's like someone not taking care of their arteries, or like, you know, like not taking care of the body, or like the bigger system. So yeah.
So I have been working on so many separate projects. Because like I came here, I guess I was thinking that I was just gonna be able to experience like freedom from the restraints of like what I'm dealing with in my work in Miami, and I'm just gonna be able to like play and like have fun making work in a way. But as soon as I got here and like I started thinking about like or exploring the ideas I've been wanting to explore, I kept putting like all this pressure on myself because I feel like if like whatever work I'm doing has to kind of like benefit me in some way. Like it has to do something for like the the body of work I'm making, or it has to like surpass the last piece, or it has to be like some type of improvement. Um but really it like I keep putting myself in this box. Like it's like I want to do stuff that works for my work in Miami, but at the same time it's like I'm here. Like why I should be making stuff with my time being here. So it's been really hard to like, even though I'm all the way on the other side of the world, like mentally I cannot escape my home or like the things I think I should be prioritizing, which isn't really like necessary to be prioritizing right now. Like the whole reason of coming here was to like put that aside. So like for me, it's almost like I've kind of been envious the way everyone has been able to play around, because I haven't been able to like experience that much myself. And like time's ticking, right? Like and I keep trying to push myself to do things to get my headspace like out of that zone. But like even yesterday I was trying to take a nap. I couldn't fall asleep for like an hour because I was just like, I gotta figure out what to do. What am I doing? What am I doing? So yeah, it's been hard, but there's like 2 days left. So I'm gonna try like really focusing on playing these 2 days. So if you guys see me struggling, just like ask me what's up. Ask me like what's going on with this piece, like what, you know. I could use the help.
So far since I've been here, I would say like my artistic mood and like gusto, maybe it hasn't fluctuated, but has more kind of just like risen. I had talked to Star the other day, and this was like around the time of our last Fusion talk. Yeah, like right after that one. I was telling him that like I was having a really hard time like getting in my groove and like staying focused. Usually like when I work on my stuff at home, like I'm alone, and you know, I kind of have like the space to, I guess, just like be or not be, in a sense. To be or not to be. Shakespeare over here, right? And like when I came, it was like a little bit hard to like adjust to being around like other folks and kind of like be getting like stimulation from multiple different sources. I don't know what it was that kind of shifted with that, but I think after the like 420 event, I was able to just like settle in and be a little bit more comfortable. I guess because it's like, you know, like that night, everybody is me just letting go, right? So I think I needed that, like, you know, just like to be like, all right, you know, like things are in motion. You know, everybody's kind of like in some sort of like struggle with their work, right? Whether that's the process or the piece or like the deadlines. So like it allowed me to kind of like feel like a sense of camaraderie and ease into it. I haven't done like a big oil pastel piece since like 2022. So it's been a minute. Like I'd be showing people that Hulk piece. I'm like, yeah, like this is my best piece. I'm most proudest of this one. And it's like 2 years ago. So I'm like, oh man, like I try not to tell nobody like when I did it, because they're gonna be like, oh, like, so you're not doing this anymore. But I every bigger oil pastel piece I've been doing since I picked the medium. I was explaining to, I think, Miguel, like when I had decided like, okay, like I just wanted to mess around with oil pastels and like try it. Like I've been like upping the ante every time, like doing something a little bit more challenging than the last and kind of pushing it. And I think like with the two pieces I'm working on now, like definitely doing that again since like the piece that I felt like was my best. So I'm proud of that. I'm able to do it in like a new environment that is like different-ish to me, right? So that's also really great. But yeah, I think like just being around like the great energy that everyone has and like the vibes, it's usually I always feel like I'm the type of person where like if my social battery dies and I'm like, yo, like don't don't talk to me, like I need to recharge, right? Peace, like Nilesy Niles, it did disappear. But now I'm kind of like trying to push through just that of like, okay, like allowing that to just be like done and then like have that dictate. I felt like very strongly like I wasn't able to focus on like the highs of like the trip and like just the experience of being around everyone. It was more just like the lows were weighing on me, even though like the highs definitely, and you know, this is usually something that happens in life, right? Like our highs will be more consistent or just around more than the lows, but like the lows weigh on us heavier, right? So I think like I just like switched my focus and now I'm kind of seeing it again with like the eyes I had before I came, where it's like, okay, I have the opportunity to go to Japan and like create work, like that's fire. So like now, but just do it, you know, kind of like stepping up to the plate, shaking off the anxiety about that. But yeah, like my pieces that I'm doing, the first one that I finished already, I actually wasn't planning on doing when I came. It was after that first fusion talk, and then like the storm that was going on outside kind of like inspired me, and just like the mythology of the area that we're in, I wanted to create something relevant just because it just felt right to Japan. And that one came about that way. And it's funny enough because the legend of Susanoo, which is the mythological deity of storms and the sea, in that mythology, he like fights a huge like serpent. And I remember like watching this video. I think it was about like why do like so many cultures around the world have dragons in them? Like where does this even come from? Like where are we all getting this idea from? And the piece that and this is an idea I had from like maybe like a year or two ago for a piece that is like that has like a huge serpent in it, and kind of ties into like the mythological place that like serpents have in like many different religions and customs around the world. So it just kind of worked out like beautifully that like the two pieces kind of go hand in hand, like story wise. So I'm feeling inspired. I'm feeling like ready to go at it. I'm feeling ready to have fun as well, you know, and just like really enjoy all of it. I was talking to a friend from home. He was like, yeah, I hear coffee is really good for things like that. And I was like telling him, like, he's asking like, oh, how's Japan? And I was like, it's been good, but I feel like I haven't been able to enjoy it as much because like I want to sleep or like I get exhausted. And he's like, you know what, like maybe you should just take a sleep debt, like just for the trip, like just, you know. And I'm like, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, he's right. Like I'll get all this sleep and I'll go back to New York and be like, wow, well, I slept a lot in Japan, like nice, you know, like, and like everybody else is like having fun or like, you know, burning the midnight oil, like getting these cool pieces done, or even just like the moments where we just like talk and chill, you know, like walk around, like even if it's not anything crazy. So like I'm really now just like, all right, I'm going like full sponge, just soaking it all in as much as I can. And I think that allowing myself that place and that grace to be able to do that, but also want to create work, has then refueled and rekindled the want to create. So I'm thankful for you all. I'm thankful for this opportunity. I'm thankful for like the work that like past me has done and like wanted to do, and now like current me is like living into and stepping into. And yeah, we're gonna get it popping. So I'm excited to see what everybody creates and what my pieces look like.
Work-wise, I'm fine. Work-wise, I'm very comfortable. Don't have an issue. Even though I'm working on two things at the same time, like I'm doing the illustrations and I have to like frame them and add the macrame, but I'm also doing part of the mural, of a mural. I'm actually more curious about you guys. because throughout this time, you've been like, every time we've had this talk, you've asked us about how we feel and how we are working around with this situation. But all this time, all four of you have been really working towards us feeling comfortable, feeling safe, being able to actually have what we need to create and to make the beautiful things that we're making. So I'm really curious to know what you four are feeling, how you four are doing, especially Brian right behind the camera. He's never in the camera, you know? So like, I am really interested.
Okay.
You're first.
All right. I'll start. Well, I guess last talk I did have something I wanted to say, but it was kind of cut short. And it kind of mirrored a lot of what you guys had mentioned about kind of coming here and how you felt before coming here. You know, I do quite a bit of traveling, and I don't really remember the last time I felt like nervous traveling, but I was really nervous coming to this trip. You know, part of it was because Japan is a place that I've wanted to come to for a really long time. But the other was because of the group of people, you know. Part of my job was to kind of look into your work and all that stuff. So, you know, part of me was kind of low-key intimidated. I was like, oh, shit, this is a really talented group of people. You know, and I had been struggling with, like, even calling myself an artist. So, you know, part of it was the Japan thing, part of it was the group of people, and I guess I got to say that I do feel really embraced by all of you, and you know, really grateful to be part of this experience. So I'm really humbled and really grateful to be here. And I've documented a lot of subject matter, but never subject matter that I guess I cared about as much as this, and I felt as close to as much as this. So yeah.
Love you, boy.
Hey, everybody. Hey. So, okay, I'm going to try not to get emotional as well.
It's hard, man.
Yeah. So, I think I was saying this a few days ago to some of you, but this is probably the first experience where I've been with a group of artists where it hasn't been like kind of a toxic environment, which I kind of, you know, I went to liberal arts school, I went to architecture school, and it has this very like cutthroat sabotage, you know, there's no camaraderie, you know, or at least that was my experience. So this is really just the polar opposite. I just feel like all of this connection, like between everybody and like with myself as well. So just, it's really, it's so shocking actually. And it's hard to digest as well. Just like, I really can't believe it. I feel like I'm getting a redo, you know, of those, it's been years. I started school in 2012. So like a reset of like more than 10 years ago. So it's really like a powerful experience. And I think even having that prior experience, like in the academic, when I was a student, really kind of took the fun and the feeling out of creating. And like, I feel that reset too, just by being around the energy that all of you guys bring to your work. And like, you know, the friendship and the love, everything, that it feels like, I feel like I have that inspiration again. Whereas, you know, up until now, for the last few years, it's been kind of like shutting off to just, you know, you create to make money. And it doesn't feel real, doesn't feel genuine. Whereas, you know, after just being around you guys for the last few days, it's just like a totally different mindset that I feel like has just taken place inside of me, like personally. So I feel really grateful. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's really amazing. Like, I never even thought like I would feel this way. Even on the way here, it kind of felt, you know, working up into the last second, you know, sending emails on the plane,
the night before and all that. And as soon as I got here, I felt like I was finally on. You know, I've just been really shutting myself off for like years and years. So yeah, it's amazing. It's like I feel really grateful to you all. Thank you.
Hi. Yeah, I'm doing fine. You guys really inspire me during this trip. Even I feel, my body feel exhausted. Mentally, I'm really fine, enjoying this moment. And since I'm the person who listening the opinions from the hotel, like Japanese people, and I have been hearing a lot of good, what is it? Yeah, good things. You see those people who are hanging around, like old people, women and gentlemen. Those people are actually a victim of earthquake, which is happened on January 1st. And so they have been here almost 4 months. And some people even, they couldn't have, get the chance to go outside from this hotel. They just staying here 4 months to do like almost nothing. And they keep telling me that you guys literally showing outside of the world. And they really enjoying to be around you guys, just like me. So, and yeah, they really excited to come to our exhibition. So yeah, just get ready for them to show the world. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Hi.
Can you talk a little bit more about you?
Oh, me? I'm, なんだろう. I like to take photography. Wish I had more time to take you guys' portrait and create my own stuff. But I didn't really get time to do that. But yeah, I kind of have fear to express myself too in the art. But that's actually you guys doing every day, like express your feeling, emotion, who you are into the art. And yeah, that's really, super inspire me. Yeah, maybe after this program, I'm gonna start work on my own project or something. 頑張る. Yeah. ありがとうございます。はい。あ。
Now it's your turn, boy.
Oh yeah, Star, you ain't saying nothing.
I feel like I've been I feel like I've been speaking a lot, but I guess I can add onto a bit more of these guys. So Brian is the guy who, whatever like deep thought you have that you might not have like a soundboard for or a person for, this guy absorbs deepness and like is a safe space for a lot of like conceptual ideas, and we just riff off of a lot of different obscure things, and I hope you guys have like discovered that for yourselves. Like he might put up the whatever facade, like, but this dude is deep as hell. And then Zoya is just like a example of grace and like just every now and then you need people to remind you why like you should care about beauty without saying it. That's Zoya. And then Akari is almost kind of like me in a way, where you'll learn who Akari is by the people who's around her. So Akari is surrounded by a ton of beautiful women. Akari is surrounded by a ton of smart people. Akari is surrounded by a ton of respected people, like on so many different levels. And then you just see those people and you're like, how the hell are you cool with this person? and that's indicative of Wakati. Like even when we met, a lot of people who probably like the first group of really curious and cultured Japanese people who came into the city or who came into like New York and Brooklyn and the club scene, yada yada yada. They all were from Wakati or attached to her to some degree. So these are things that they all won't say, but I could say it. But beyond that, briefly, I think one of the cool, like, we've been having this conversation of trying to figure out why this group is like, it's hard to explain because the last group wasn't bad. It's just no. No, seriously, it's really hard to explain because the last group was dope as well, but this group is like even better. But they're still great, and I think like one of the elements for that, how do I put this? This is the fourth cohort, so to speak, and a lot of the experiences that we've had thus far are the brainchild of another person who laid the foundation. So like Mama's is the result of one person. And then all of these different things in the city are results of one person. So when you walk into that space, somebody has already laid the groundwork of like making those people really comfortable. And then every year, someone else lays another foundation and another foundation. And then I'm like behind the scenes, so I'm not really the person that's creating most of the relationships. But it's like through you guys, like I'll walk in and they already met you, or they already met you, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we met this person," and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And that's kind of what like this exhibition will be in a sense, a continuation of previous relationships, and even like a presentation of new relationships. Because as a whole, this is already unconventional from a curator perspective, like being not having like full white walls and like not having the time to really know what you guys are working on. So it's like I'm figuring that out right now, and it's the entire thing is unconventional. So the focus is not that thing per se, but the focus is you guys and the relationships and like those things that you've experienced. But yeah, I think that's what I was trying to express. Oh, did I answer it? All right.
You did.
All right, great.
So, even though I'm pretty sure everybody here has expressed this already, and I've said it several times to you and to all of y'all, I just want to say it one last time. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, I also want to add one more thing. As VP of Late Night Crew, I've been able to interact with a lot of you guys on a one-on-one or semi one-on-one basis in some sort of way, even if it's just hanging out in Raichu One and just talking about whatever. And there's sort of a through line that I'm getting from everyone, which is it's like one part fatigue, like long lasting fatigue, and another part rebirth. And it's been really cool to be able to connect with everyone here in the sense that their walls were already removed, you know, where you could peer right into who someone is, any one of us, and they could peer right back, and there's a sort of openness and understanding there that you don't really see. And part could be what the pandemic may have did to us, or what working in the art world may have done to us, done to our mental, or done to our creativity or our process. But even for me coming up, because the week before this trip was stressful for me because I didn't know I was coming the week before that. So I was rushing, I was driving, I drove 11 hours to make sure I had my passport. I was, trying to pack and figure out everything and get the itinerary and let everyone know and find an Uber and just stress on stress. And in the back of my mind, I just had a really good feeling. Like, this is gonna be sick. Like, not just being in Japan, but being around all you guys. And I didn't do jack shit of research either. Like, I saw the faces and I'm like, oh, cool, okay. Oh, someone's from Nashville, okay, cool. And just moved on. So being able to come with a blank slate and really connect on a one-to-one basis with everybody has been really inspiring. And I feel like the openness between us has allowed us to shed some of that skin and maybe sprout some new wings and make a new space, shed that old cocoon and see what the sky tastes like. So I'm really proud of all you guys.
I want to piggyback off of what he said, that he had a blank slate and that was good for him. For me, it was really scary and bad because sometimes I come off like a judgy person more so. Like first interactions, I judge right away, like, oh, this is who you are as a person, da da da. And like when Aries, she had a little interaction with us, and at first I was like, I don't know if we're gonna get along. Like, she's super happy, and like, I don't know about that. And then like when I was at the airport, she came and approached me like, hi, da da da, are you Javon? And it just made me feel like, one, I was like weirded out. I was like, she's actually really cool. Like, I did not expect that at all. and like now we get along really well, and I feel like that for everybody, like, if it was like back in the day and I was meeting all you guys, I don't know if I would even take the time out to talk to some of you guys, but not in a rude way, but just like, that's just who I am as a person. But I feel like this has opened me up to not judging a book by its cover or anything like that, or thinking I'm not enough for someone, or I'm doing the most, or like I can't ever get along. Like, I would not expect me and you to be like so close, or us to get along like that. But I feel like it's different people, and we all have different vibes and tastes, and it flows naturally. And yeah, he had really high expectations for this trip, and I was like nervous. I was like, there's gotta be somebody there that's gonna, like, there's always one bad apple in the group, but there's nobody, and I really like that a lot. Yeah.
Anyone else? Going once, going twice.
So I move around like a lot, like a whole lot. And I'm around people like a lot. And I interact with people like a lot. Sometimes hundreds of people a day, just because of the nature of my work, and especially if I'm in a season of like expanding my brand and stuff. And I deal with like technology, social media, like a lot. And so all of these things create this like residual noise. And I'm middle child. I'm naturally inclined to retract. Not even because I don't want to interact, but I was born into the cut. I was like born into the cut, and like everybody in my family is like a black sheep. My father's a black sheep, his family. My mother's a black sheep. My older brother, black sheep, sister, black sheep. And I was kind of like born in the cut of the black sheep family. So super black. Super sheep.
Super black sheep.
Yeah. what's the Vanna Black, Vanna Black sheep. But so the nature of my work and my name, my first name KAMAUU means quiet warrior. And my parents named me that because I didn't really talk, and even cry as a baby. I just like frowned, and I was named long after I was born. Like I was named, and I was like in the first grade. And so it's just my nature to just like not be around and to be quiet. But my work doesn't allow that, and so that makes me even more like reserved. And it never seems like there's enough. It never seems like I'm far enough away to get peace and quiet. And so I really enjoy the quiet here. And I've enjoyed interacting, even if it seems like just like a fist bump, I really do, because I'm able to get so much space. It's like you turn the sound down and now you can hear all the subtle details. Me just realizing like, that's what it is about you. You remind me of my sister. Now I was like, what is it about this person? Or like we had a really sweet moment. We were walking from when we got the incense and stuff. It was just sweet, and I've had these sweet moments with everybody, even if like really subtle, even just saying good morning and passing. I'm about to go do my ritual and being like, oh, I'm about to work. Like, yeah, no, I just want to say good morning. Yeah, it was sweet though to me. It was sweet, Yeah. but that was it was a sweet moment, I think either way, it's like I really enjoyed even the slightest and most subtle interactions with everybody. And the way that I experience a place, you go to a place and you want to go see this and you want to go see the dad of the dad and interact with this part and just really sightsee. I don't like to sightsee because I like to be still and I like to be home. And I literally, in the past, I don't know how many years, I haven't gotten 2 months at home, and that's why I get up every morning so I can have something consistent, and it's just it's been really, really good. One, having the quiet here, and it's been really good creating the space to really enjoy the subtleties of our interactions. Even the moment we had during when we were going to, we were coming here, it was from Tokyo, right? That was really sweet to me. It was a sweet moment, so. And what I was going to say was that like when I go to a place, I don't like to just see all the things, because it's like, all right, spend more time on the subway. I'm always on trains and planes and buses, so I don't want to like travel after I travel to a place to travel to another place within place. I want to stay right here and walk around. I talk to the people in the hotel, to the elders here or something, or to y'all. That's my experience in Japan, is people here and y'all here, But it's been really good to just to be here and to experience it the way that is really good for me. It's a bit slower and lower, and being able to just absorb this area has really given me a good ear on what the silence here sounds like. And my best music comes from the best sounds that come out of me come from the lack thereof, so like when I get like really good silence from a place, I can articulate it in sounds. And the silence here is the birds, it's the street signals, it's the I don't know what you're saying, but I'm just going to smile and nod. And somehow we at least know we're not enemies. We're smiling with each other, that's nice. And the silence here in this specific and special moment is my space between you, me and you, my space between me and you, my space between me and you, my space between me and you, the things that we know about each other, and the ignorance, the shyness that I have with each of you all that either is visible to you or not. That's part of the silence that I've been enjoyed, like what the shape between us feels like. And it's been really fun articulating that. And I found a melody when we were at the, what was it called?
Stonecourt?
No, it was before the Stone. Well, when we went there,
Yeah.
In that moment, like the sound of the shape of Japan and all of you all and I, what it feels like to me, what it sounds like to me, the little melody came to me then, and it's a really sweet melody, and it's very pretty to me, and I'm excited to share it with you all. Yeah.
Yeah, that was dope. From everybody. I guess so. I'm like I'm already getting into a preparation state for the return, and I've been trying to figure out how to prepare myself. And I was sitting at Skybucks earlier, and I think the message that I got was just to be still, even in trying to get ready for the chaos, or the return, as if I'm going backwards or something like that. I don't want to like spoil anything or taint anything with more words,